Hi boys and girls, welcome to Everyday Math Lesson 11.4, Multiples of Equal Groups. The materials that you'll need, your pencil, your notebook, your math journal, and your template. Let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is go over our math journal page from the previous lesson. So if you can be open to page 270 and we'll go over our math boxes. If you're noticing that you have any wrong, please fix any mistakes with your pencil and eraser. For question number 1, when we're figuring out the perimeter, we are taking a look at our template and measuring each of those 4 sides to find out how many centimeters we have. Once you measured all 4 sides and added them up, you should have had an answer of 13 centimeters. For question number 2, divide each of these. So the first one I'm dividing into half. For the second one, I'm dividing it into fourths. Now I can see that 1/2 is greater than 1/4. Here would be where I would have 1/2, and just one of these little pieces would be 1/4. If I have 2/4 or if I have 1/2, I can see that those are equal. Those would be the same. If I have 1/2 or if I have 3/4, I can see that 3/4 is greater. For question number 3, what is the value of the digit 4 in each number? So in the number 14, the value is 4. In the number 142, the value is 40. In the number 436, the value is 400. In the number 4678, the value is 4000. For question number 4, we have a 3 by 7 array, and 3 times 7 is equal to 21. For question number 5, I had a $5 bill. I spent $5.23. How much change did I receive? Fill in the circle next to the best answer. So if I start at $5.23, I see if I add 2 more pennies, I would be at $5.25. Then adding a quarter would be $5.50, then $5.75, and then $6. From $6, I added on 4 more $1 bills, giving me a total change of $4.77. For question number 6, you first need to figure out what 3 times 6 is, and you should have had 18 for your top number in your triangle. Then you could do 3 times 6 equals 18, 6 times 3 equals 18, and if you had these two flip-flopped, that's okay. And then 18 divided by 3 equals 6, and 18 divided by 6 equals 3. And same thing, the bottom two could have also been flip-flopped. Boys and girls, again, double check to make sure you have this correct and fix any of your mistakes with your pencil and eraser. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to open up our notebook, and if you want to just write down some of the notes or kind of to work out some of the problems that we're going to be using from the next slides. If the speed is too fast, please pause as often as needed. Today we're going to talk about multiplication, and we're going to use some pictures and talk about a couple different strategies when solving multiplication problems. So in this problem, if I have 4 triangles and there's 3 corners per triangle, I want to know how many corners in all. If you think you know the answer, I want you to write down in your notebook 4 times 3 equals, and you can write down what the answer is. I also want you to listen to some strategies for solving. So one way to do this is I could count the corners, and I could see, okay, each of these triangles has 3 corners, and so I could count by 3s. I could make an array showing 4 by 3, getting my answer 4 times 3 equals 12. So when we're looking at a problem like this, the 4 and the 3 are called factors. The 12, or the answer, is called the product. Another way of saying this is saying like I have 4 3s, or 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. We can also skip count. So starting at 0 and counting 3, 6, 9, 12. So those are a few different ways for solving when we're working with multiplication problems. I want you to pick the strategy that's going to make the most sense to you. Let's try another one. 7 cars passed us on the freeway. Each car has 4 wheels. How many wheels in all? Today when we're working, we're going to be using some of these multiplication diagrams. So when we're filling these out, we start by thinking, what are we trying to solve in our first box? So we need to figure out how many cars do we have, how many wheels per car, and lastly, how many wheels in all. So if we know that we have 7 cars and there's 4 wheels per car, we want to know how many wheels in all. So I can think about 7 times 4. I could also think if I have 7 fours, or 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. Another thing that I like to think about just when I have fours is I can think double double. If I know that 7 plus 7 is equal to 14, then I can think, well, what's 14 plus 14? If you said 14 plus 14 is 28, you are correct. 7 times 4 is equal to 28. So if you can put your notebook to the side and take out your math journal, we will now talk about math journal pages 272 and 271. We will not complete page 273 during this lesson. This is page 272. I want you to take a look at the number story problems, insert the information that you know, and put in your number model. Let's have you try first on your own, and then press play when you're ready to hear the answer. All right, second graders, 4 insects on the flower. How many legs in all? So I'm going to first start by putting in my information. So I have my 4 in the insect column, 6 legs per insect, and I need to know how many legs in all. So I'm using that number model, 4 times 6. Now, one way I'm going to do it for this one is think about it in an array. So I can think about 4 times 6 equals 24. I can also think 6 times 4 equals 24. So I know that my answer is 24 legs. And I figured that one out by drawing a picture or using an array. Let's look for number 2. 3 vans full of people. How many people in all? So I know I have my 3 vans, I have 10 people per van, and again, I want to figure out how many people in all. This time, I chose to do some counting or chose to add repeated addition. So I'm thinking 10 plus 10 plus 10 because I have 3 tens. So 3 times 10 is equal to 30. So my answer is I would have 30 people. For the last one, we have 9 windows. How many panes in all? So I know I have my 9 windows. Looking at this picture, I can see that panes per window, there's 4. So I need to try to figure out what 9 times 4 is. For this one, I did a little double double. And again, I can use double double when I'm multiplying by 4. So I know that 9 plus 9 is equal to 18. And I know that 18 plus 18 is equal to 36. So 9 times 4 is also equal to 36. And there's lots of different tricks when it comes to nines that maybe you already know or you'll figure out in the future. Again, if you could take a look and double check your work, and if you want to make up more problems on the side, that would be great. Also, if you look at page 273, if you want something extra today, you could try this page as well. They have 3 different pictures, and you would fill out the multiplication diagrams to make up some problems on your own. The last thing we'll talk about today, though, is math boxes. So for question number 1, you're solving and showing your work. For question 2, what is the maximum number or the largest number in the list? For question 3, I added a little hint. So what shape is a can of soup? And if you want to take a look at how to spell it, you can use my spelling here, but still make sure you're writing the whole word on the line. For question 4, 15 baseball cards are shared equally among 4 children. How many cards does each child get? So boys and girls, I would probably draw a picture, try to make an array. If you can start with your 4 children and keep giving each child 1 until you are out of your 15 baseball cards. Then think, are there any left over? Were there some cards that weren't able to be divided evenly between the 4 children? For question 5, fill in the missing numbers, thinking about what's 1 less, and then thinking about what's 10 more for the one right below it. And for question number 6, what is the range of this list of numbers? And thinking about the largest minus the smallest. Once you're all done, please take a picture and send that picture to Seesaw. We will see you next time.